welcome to the Stateside Road Warrior with me, Movie Scout 007, where we play American Truck Simulator. So, we made our last stop. We didn't level up, but you know, it's not such a big thing. We did discover Stockton. We're very near Oakdale, and if you look at the map now, there are only actually 6 cities that we haven't been visited yet: Hornbrook, Truckee, Carson City, Oakdale, Ely, and Pioche. Those are the only places we haven't visited yet. So the plan is to try and get all of those before they add Arizona, and that is what we're going to be getting next. Arizona. Obviously, the map. I mean, that's Portland, just above California, and above that will be Washington when that gets added. But that is our plan, right? First things first, given that we are near a repair location, we're going to go and repair. Because knowing this map, I don't know when I'm going to be able to get to a repair yard. So that's the plan first, then we'll get some sleep, we'll pop some fuel in, and then we will find our next journey. Right then, let's service this bad fella. So, 3% on the engine for 1,600. So, 3% on the engine for $1,622, 2% on the transmission for $195, 6% on the chassis for $1,336, 5% on the cabin for $929, and 2% on the wheels for $107. For some bizarre reason, that's $202. I don't get it. This part doesn't make sense. It says co-insurance for $200. Okay, it's a layer of stuff that doesn't make any sense to me. I get that it's insurance, but yeah. Right. We don't need to upgrade. Upgrades are a little bit pointless. So let's check it in here. Let's get some rest. So engine off. Alright, I think that I'm going to have 2 rests just to get daylight. Right, there we go. So, right, let's go to the freight market, get ourselves a job. So we're in Stockton, and I see a job to Ely, one of the places we haven't visited yet. 9,433. It's not the largest amount of cash. But that's coastline mining to Plaster and Sons. I think that I want to take that. So let's do that. Let's go. Let's rock. So Plaster and Sons obviously is just where we've been. We're going to miss out on a discoverable, but to be honest, we'll get those. coastline mining. So this is coastline mining. This looks very familiar. I think there's another one like this. So we're going to take that. And we're going to go pick up our load. Oh, there's a guy. He won't wave at me. He won't even acknowledge my existence. Alright. Let's swing that into there. And any minute now. There we go. Let's hitch that fella up. And let's go. Right, so there are a couple of American Twitch streamers that, given my new job and my lack of time for that sort of thing, I haven't actually seen. So but I know that they all planned to migrate to American Truck Simulator as soon as it arrived. But I'm wondering whether they'll have got bored with the limited number of cities and roads for them to drive on, and they'll have gone back to Eurotruck because there's so many roads on that they won't have gone to. One of the things we are going to have to do is we're going to have to get some fuel at some point. Oh, police cars. At least I've got lights on. Don't need lights. Okay, this is where I rested and repaired. Okay. Alright, so we're going to keep an eye on this, because if nothing's moving, we're going to go. Because you can turn right if the road is clear for you. And the road was indeed clear. There's a police car. We are going to make sure we don't go above 30. So, not much has happened in my life since last we spoke. Obviously, there have been 2 further football matches for Liverpool, both of which were dire draws. We had a tiresome 1-1 draw at Anfield against Chelsea, which was of no value to us whatsoever. Kind of counted us out of finishing 5th. Definitely finished this for 4th. And then we drew our final Premier League game of the season against West Bromwich Albion, another 1-1 draw. So we've kind of put all of our European eggs in one basket, and that basket is Wednesday, the 18th of May, in Basel in Switzerland. We are playing Seville in the final of the Europa League, which is which does give you a guaranteed group stage entry to the Champions League. This is the 2nd year that they've done this. Oh, we've paid a loan instalment, $5,788. It'd be interesting to look at the beginning of the next journey how much we actually have of that loan left, because we are starting to make money. I mean, I've paid a loan instalment and I had 2 sleeps, and I still got 20 grand. I'm kind of hoping that I'll have enough money for a 3rd lorry at some point. I think I'm going to prioritise a 3rd lorry. No, I'm going to prioritise the engine because it's the experience of playing the game, and then once I've got the engine, then I will put some money into a new truck with a new driver. So the biggest thing that's been going on is, I don't know if I told you that we bought a house at the beginning of December, and then in mid-December we put solar panels on it because the government was still giving a tariff, what's called a feed-in tariff, to get money back from the electricity supplier, because during the day your house is generating electricity. My wife and I are out most of the day normally, so that electricity is just going to waste, so it gets fed back into the national grid. So we get money back for adding to the national grid. Obviously that doesn't allow you to generate electricity in the evening, there's no sunshine, so you're then taking money out. So you're taking power out of the national grid, but you still get money for it. Anyway, we had these solar panels fitted. We discovered in March or April that pigeons had started nesting under the solar panels, and initially we were annoyed, but not that bothered. And then the beginning of May we noticed some tiles had come loose and were on the floor in front of the house, and we are strongly suspicious that the culprit are these bloody pigeons. And so, oh crap, come on, don't. Stop. What's the matter with you? Yeah, so we suspect the pigeons were the culprits, and so we had great expense, has to be said. I wasn't chuffed about the amount of money it was going to cost, especially given the solution. But we had a chap rock up with what I can best describe as anti-pigeon spikes. They're little plastic spikes that are about 40 centimetres, that's about 1.5 inches if you're American. And they sort of sit between the roof tile and the solar panel. And to be honest, initially I was happy for that to be the solution. But then Friday I spotted these bloody pigeons have found a way back under the solar panel. I totally get why they want to be there. It's nice and warm. I mean, initially they had a nest, and we've made sure that nest is gone. Normally I would be very hesitant about removing a bird and a bird's nest, no matter where it came from. But this is pigeons. They're the rats with wings. They're disgusting creatures, I hate them. But they found a way back in, and we can't see where it is, so we suspect that it has to be at the top of the solar panel, near the roof line where we can't see. So the diesel was $2.82. We had 106.9 gallons. We paid $299 for it. So that is that. Oh, please make it out beforehand. Good. Don't clip me. I know it's my bad driving, but please don't clip me. Do you know what? I didn't even look at what we were dragging. It's a nice, slick, shiny looking trailer, but I don't know what the hell it is. God, this is going to count as a Bloody hell, start! I can feel it now. Oh, I'm spilling water all over the place. That's not good. Let's pop the... Oh, I keep doing that. Yeah, I made it out before the lights changed. So, we've now got pigeons. It doesn't seem like they can get their nesting material under the roof, which is good, because it means they won't be nesting there, which hopefully means that they will get bored with the location. But it does mean that in the meantime we've got to go back on the roof and we've got to find the spot that they came in, and we've got to make sure that that's even more secure. I mean, it was funny the weekend that we had the spikes installed, because there was a pigeon patrolling the whole roof trying to find a way in, and at the time he couldn't find one. But it seems like they must have just pecked and pecked and pecked until they got their way in somehow. We've got to make sure that that route becomes all the more impossible. Fortunately, the way the spikes are set up, they're 3 sets of spikes on what's like a sort of a 1.5 centimetre wide platform, a 15mm platform that is about 20 centimetres long. But the trouble is, roof tiles don't fit those parameters, and so that means that there are gaps. There are gaps at the bottom where the curve of the roof tile goes south. Oh, we got a recruitment agency. We're about to discover a recruitment agency. I like it. More drivers, baby, more drivers. And this one we can't cheat, not turning right, so we just have to wait for the lights to go. Is that me, or does that look like a hybrid between a Jaguar and another just saloon on the right there, the green thing? Weird. Ooh, it's a winery. There is actually an achievement, a Steam achievement, for delivering to all 3 of the vineyards in California. Rather helpfully, everybody is letting me out, which is wonderful. Thank you very much. That's fabulous. Yes. So, oh, I'm speeding. So yes, at the moment it's pigeons that are bane in my life. We're discovering, we're also going through the house sort of slowly, bit by bit, repairing all of the dreadful decisions that the previous owners made. She's had some very old taps in the kitchen, which we had replaced at the weekend, which is fantastic, because we now have hot water in the kitchen. We've all but done with the living room. I put the shelves up. We've got to put paintings and pictures up, sort of make it feel like ours. And then on the 6th of June we get a brand new sofa. It's the first time I've ever owned a brand new sofa. which is magical. It's a nice looking sofa as well. The biggest problem I have with sofas is I'm quite tall, but I've got a long torso, which means that my head is quite high when sitting down. It's great at football matches because it means that I don't, I can usually find somewhere to get my head into position so that I can see the match, or concerts for the same reason, gigs, comedy gigs. The wife and I go to a lot of comedy gigs. We went to see Billy Connolly on my birthday this year, so that's about five months ago. And then in November we're going to see an amazing northeastern comic called Ross Noble, who I absolutely love, but I do understand he's very much an acquired taste. It's a bit surreal, which the wife and I absolutely adore. We went to see Dara Bray in December, I think. I forget now. He was fantastic. Love Dara. I think Dara is probably my favourite comedian that's about at the moment. It used to be Eddie Izzard, but Eddie has become such... He's been concentrating so much on being a movie and TV star. He's kind of lost touch with his stand-up roots. Yeah, that's his choice. And while I miss his comedy, I get why he'd want to do that. Have you noticed that the gear ratios are back to odd numbers? I've not touched anything. I don't know why that's happened. I haven't touched anything. We're on Route 395 and the truck is struggling. Old 1980s station wagon. They've featured in so many TV programs and movies. I watched Captain America's Civil War, and there's a sequence in there set in the 80s, and it features a gold coloured station wagon that looked just like that. Amazing. Still got some way to go yet. Right, so we've got 12 hours to do it, 8 hours before we have to take a rest. I would imagine we'll probably have a few minutes spare. We certainly don't have time to rest before we deliver. I said 8. We've only got 4 hours spare. That won't be time enough to get a rest stop in. Yeah, 11.5 hours next rest stop. It's gonna be tight. It's going to be quite tight. Yeah, we should have done that a while ago. You want to actually check out the mirror, particularly the static imaginary mirror on the right hand side, top right hand corner. Or actually, no, the left mirror now. Look at the queue of traffic I've created. That's amazing. I tell you what, buying a house is a real exercise in timetabling and stamina and money management and got all sorts of things. There are so many things that we need to do. so many of them require money. Oh, look at the birds circling, isn't that interesting? Circling. Now, if I was playing Red Dead Redemption, that would mean that there was something to hunt, or something dead. Actually, I better not speeding on the head. Be it just my luck that a police car would be coming in the other direction, or sat at the side of the road. Actually, this landscape does remind me of Red Dead Redemption. God, I loved that game. I really loved that game. I finished the story, and periodically I dip back in just to... I'll never get a platinum. I'll never 100% everything in the game, because the trouble is it's got multiplayer aspect to it. And to be honest, it's the kind of multiplayer that usually involves little obnoxious American teenagers screaming about how they want to have sex with me mum. I don't think they'd want to have sex with my mum. I love my mum to bits, I really do. I love her like any good son would love a mother, but she's 70, for crying out loud. You prepubescent arsehole. And that's the kind of multiplayer that's tedious. And one of them multiplayer trophies requires you to win 3 consecutive matches. It's so hard to do. I mean, you're lucky to win 1. It's almost miraculous if you win 2. It's the sort of thing that you have to dedicate a whole weekend just to achieve. And I got so many other games I want to play rather than just getting a trophy. I am nearly completing my very first platinum on my Vita. One of the freebies I got with Vita, I got a bundle. It's a really good bundle, actually. I think I've mentioned this before. I got £179 for the Vita for an 8 gig card I'll probably never use, and for 3 games, codes for 3 games. Lego the Movie, Lego Batman 3, and Lego The Hobbit. And I am just about to finish Lego Batman 3. I'm sort of 75%. When you consider that the platinum is a huge chunk of the percentage, that's yeah, I'm very close to finishing the whole thing. I do love getting a nice shiny platinum trophy, and it's nice to be able to get trophies on the go. It's one of the things that used to I used to be reluctant to leave my PlayStation at home. You know, I would... Oh, actually, lights are on. It's just... yeah, there's nothing coming... Oh, God, she stalled. That was silly. In fact, so much so that when we went to New Zealand for a year, which is where I started my trekking career, I took the PlayStation 3 with me. I was... I mean, I got quite a few platinums while I was in New Zealand. I think I platinumed Assassin's Creed 2. I platinumed the Saboteur. What else did I platinum? Crikey, I can't remember now. It's a while ago. I'm not going to remember. So I did enjoy having that PlayStation there. It was brilliant fun. And yeah, while I was out there, in fact, we went out in May 2013, and then in November 2014, the PlayStation 4 came out. I had to wait a full year after it came out before I could get it. I got it in December 2014. So I've had it a year and a half now, nearly. It's not speeding on the head. shift it down to 7 because it makes it slightly easier in 7th gear to stick to the speed limit. Not tremendously, but slightly. So we're still 4 hours away. We made up 15 minutes. We made up more than 15 minutes. So we'll have 15. This is the hilarious thing. We'll have 15 minutes when we start the new journey to find somewhere to rest before the game has a hemorrhage. Starts screaming at me. Oh, so this is a lot more satisfying a journey than the last one. It's probably less entertaining for you guys. I feel like you're more entertained by me when I'm making mistakes. However, that's not my aim. My aim is to deliver my load to wherever it's going unmolested. So we should, provided there's no traffic coming, be able to just chuck it out. I think that should do it. And we're off. I thought I think I was sticking it in a higher gear than I actually ended up sticking it in. Yes. My super duper computer, which I built in December, so it is, what are we in now? Middle of May. So it's 6 months old. No, I built it in November, middle of November. It's 6.5 months old. 6 months old. So yeah, the fans are starting to feel it. We're in a small room. It gets quite warm. It's near a radiator, unfortunately, which I cannot turn off. And so the fans have taken a little bit of beating, and unfortunately it's also quite a dusty environment, which means that the wonderful dust meshes are always quite full. I'm terrified of taking the computer out of the room and having a look at the one underneath the power supply, because I've got a horrible feeling that one is absolutely clogged. But I want to see where the hell I'm going. I'd like it for you to be able to see where I'm going too. So yes, I've got to think of some way. To be honest, the room is a little tight. There's too much crap in the room where I'm sat right now driving this. And as a result, this confined environment makes it very difficult to do anything. The room has to be decorated at some point because it's got the most ghastly yellow wallpaper, patterned wallpaper as well, which makes it even worse. That has got to come off. I would prefer a plain white wall, and then I can put stuff on that. I've got a bunch of posters. I want to put a few shelves up, that sort of thing. That is my aim. But it does mean there's going to be a gap. I'm going to have to plan when I'm doing it. It's going to be a time when there is a holiday. Thankfully, it won't take nearly as long as it took me to do the living room, because it's a tiny, tiny box room that I'm sat in. I will have to make some choices about some things that we can and can't keep. I'm going to have to be a bit more ruthless. probably going to have to get rid of some bookshelves, which makes me sad. But here we go, an hour and 20 minutes. I have 2 hours till I got to sleep. So I've got 40. I managed to make up 40 minutes. Deliciously, I've managed to make up 40 minutes. So at the beginning of the next journey, I should have about 40 minutes. Not 50 minutes. It's an hour should actually do me. Because I don't think I'm going to have to repair. Well, we'll see. It depends on how I park. That's the other thing. My parking. Will I have an easy or a difficult parking situation? Because if it's a difficult parking situation, then I'm going to be eating into my parking time. And we're nearly there. Jacksy of another car. We discovered Ely. Right, so get ready for a right turn. Whoa, 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 whoa. I thought that was going to be an accident. That's why I mounted the curb. I thought I was going to clatter into the back of that fella. So I'm going to join that inner lane. Did for me. Oh look, graffiti. They put graffiti on the walls. And that, my friends, is how you approach a traffic light. You drift very slowly towards it, keeping your momentum going. And there's my rest area, so it's quite close. That's good to know. Yes, you keep the momentum going so that when the light changes green, hopefully you won't quite have reached the stop line, and you'll be able to pick up straight away. Right, here we go. What we've got. It's another Plaster and Sons. We've been delivering to Plaster and Sons quite a bit. It is the easiest possible stop. There we go. Right then, so parking brake on, engine off, get rid of load. Well, gypsum. That's what we were delivering. We got an excellent rating for delivering gypsum from Stockton to Ely, which was a distance of 496 miles. It took us 12 hours and 44 minutes of in-game time, and we consumed 94.3 gallons of fuel in doing so, for which we were rewarded with a base reward of $8,021 and 400 XP, a proficiency bonus for level 8 of $641, a long distance delivery bonus for skill rank 2 of $772 and 100 XP, and a paltry 15 XP for parking the trailer. This gives us a grand total of $9,434 and 515 XP. All of this means that we are still a level 8 enthusiast, but the Stateside Road Warrior has a lifetime experience of 9,080 XP, and we're still heading for that 9,800, so we've got 720 XP to go. So, yeah, it's not impossible. It's not likely, but it's not impossible that we will become a level 9 at the next journey. Anyway, thank you for listening to me ranting about pigeons. And actually, now that I've stopped driving, I'm looking out my window at the chap across the road. Sorry, his garden backs on to the garden that's across the road from me, and he's wandering all around his shed roof. There's nothing weirder than seeing a human being in a position you're not really expecting a human being to be. The roof of a large shed is not where you expect to see a grown man, but it is sunny. It's, you know. Anyway, so aside from that little detour into my neighbourhood, thank you for watching this video. Thank you, no matter how long you watched, a minute or the whole thing. And if you enjoyed it, please click that like button, and if you'd like to see more of these, please click the subscribe button. And if you have a friend who you think might be interested in these videos, please let them know. The more the merrier. And as always, until I see you in the next video, I will see you on the road.